Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you how to do Harley Quinn's makeup from the recent movie Suicide Squad. So first, I've already started out with a good layer of foundation. I used Porcelain from Revlon's Color Stay line. It's a brand new foundation. If you don't want to invest that much, it's usually about $13 for the bottle of it. If you want to get something cheaper, you can get the palest, cheapest foundation you can get at Walmart or pretty much anywhere else. So this foundation isn't quite pale enough, but I found that the actual costume makeup, like cream makeup, doesn't blend well enough so to not use the regular foundation. So I'm going to use this bowl of cornstarch in a damp beauty blender and just go over my regular foundation with the cornstarch to lighten it to a very, very, very pale color. And that's good on the base for your face. Your cheek contour can be very tricky, and you need to be careful to use very little product. You're going to use black because any brown color is too warm for this look. But make sure you blow off any excess eyeshadow. I'm using eyeshadow for this. And make sure you pat on your arm because your face is going to be so pale right now that any black is going to show up pretty strongly. And her cheekbones go pretty much straight across, so don't follow your own cheekbone line. Recreate yours like hers. And I already have enough product to start to see the cheekbone line there, so I'm going to wipe off the rest as well as I can and just blend the rest down and out. So you just do the same with yours, and as you can see, there's a big difference between that side and that side. This side actually has cheekbones. So I'm going to turn off the camera while I do this side. So after your cheekbones are done, we're going to move on to the eyes, which is pretty much the main part of this look. For this, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Electric palette. You can use pretty much any red color or blue color. You can get blue, I know, from the dollar store. I'm not sure where you can buy red. And if you decide to use this palette, I will throw in the disclaimer that you are not supposed to use the red that I'm using on my eyes on your eyes. It says that on the eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to go ahead, and on the left side is where she has the red color, and you keep it mainly on the top. Don't go very far above your eyelid because most of that is left plain, but you're going to go pretty far underneath your eyelid. And don't worry if it's messy, because that's the whole look is very messy and chaotic, and I'm actually using Chaos. The blue shade is Chaos on my eyes. So I'm not being too careful, and you don't have to worry about it. Yeah? Bring it out to your cheekbones. And out here, you're just going to add a little bit of extra red. She has the two almost streaks or tear lines coming down. We're actually going to use our hands for that instead of using a brush, so it'll look more authentic. So I'm going to add some extra powder out there. And then just use 2 fingers and pull it down. Yeah! I'm also going to use this really light blending brush. Blend this everywhere. Everywhere. And you're going to do pretty much the exact same thing on the other eye with blue. Make sure, especially if you're using this palette, that you clean out your brush because it can be very pigmented and you don't want red or purple on the other side. So in the movie, her eyes are lined all the way around. So I'm using a really soft liner. This is Marc Jacobs liner, but you can just get a soft pencil from Walmart or the dollar store. Pretty much any soft black liner will work. And go lightly on the bottom and the top. So I'm going to use some black shadow in this Morphe blending brush. It's a very soft, very wide brush, and I'm going to use some black shadow to darken the liner or the shadow on the red on the top of my lids, and then add the dirty kind of scuffed effect that she has in the movie. So again, make sure you're using just a little bit of black. Blow off the excess product. You don't want to make things too dark because this is a very pale look and black is very pigmented. And again, you don't want to go over your lid too much with the black. She has a very dark upper lid, but then over here on the brow bone, there's not much color. It's mostly just pale.
So doing that will kind of shrink your lid to the size of hers and give that darker effect. And she's just kind of scuffed and dirty all over her face. So you could use a brown for this, but I'm just going to use the black because I like the way it looks better.
In the film, her brows are pretty dark, but they're also pretty thin. I'm using this Anastasia Dip Brow. You can use pretty much any eyebrow product you want as long as it's dark. You don't want black, but you want a dark brown. So I'm going to use this really thin brush. This is actually an eyeliner brush. And I'm going to keep the tail not straight out, but it's not very curved, thin, and bold. The outer tail is the most important part of the brows for her. I'm not going to add anything up here because that's not a very defined part of her brows. So in the movie, we all know that Harley has her little cheekbone tattoo, which is a heart. So I'm using this. I'm done with that voice. I'm done with myself. And I'm using, this is the Kat Von D ink liner, but again, any liner will work for this. A fine point will be best. But you do not have to go out and spend a lot of money on this. I do my makeup almost every day, so I have the more expensive items that I enjoy that I'm using for this, but you definitely don't have to spend that much money. And it's on her cheek around here. And instead of trying to fill all of that in with such a fine point, I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs again with the soft crayon type edge and just fill in that heart. So I already have truly awful handwriting, and I am going to attempt to write the word rotten on my cheekbone backwards in eyeliner and make it look like a tattoo. And if you're wondering, that is what the tattoo says. It says rotten and it goes down that area. At the point in this film where I am basing this look from, she has a cut down the side of her face right there. So I'm going to start out with, I have this cream makeup palette. It's just cheap from CVS again, the basic Halloween makeup. And I'm going to start out with red. It's going to look too bold at first with just plain red, so we're going to add more later. And after that, I'm going to use the black also from this and use a little bit and go over top of the red. There's that. Now we're going to use another thinner brush and black eyeshadow. And use that to define the edges, because dried scabs are actually pretty black. In the movie it looks black, and as a makeup look it comes off better, or it looks better in black. Alright, so there you have your cut. That's a bit too bold, but you can have it, you can lighten it or darken it, whichever way you want to do. So your finishing touch on this is your Harley Quinn lipstick. Now you can use pretty much any red lipstick. This is Cabaret, and it's from Sally's Beauty. And everywhere but where you're going to smear it later, but the rest needs to be really neat because it's actually very neat at the beginning of the movie. And everywhere but where she messes it up. So there you have your red. Now for the easiest part of this tutorial, you're just going to smear it. And there you go. That is how you do your Harley Quinn makeup.